There are a lot of key features in Persona that I want to talk about. And today, I guess, and the past few videos, the focus is social links. Since Persona 3, building relationships with people around you has taken the form of social links for the most part. These are basically side content that you can do where you hang out with your chosen friend. They offer dialogue options that allow you to make some sort of influence on how you bond with these people. Say the right thing, and you're golden. Say the wrong thing, and you could find yourself spending an extra time slot with them. However, the end of social links are always pretty much the same, regardless of if you chose the right options or the wrong ones. There is some minor variation with things like romanceable characters, but my big question is, should social links have roots?
What the hell are you two doing?
When I say root, I mean multiple endings or paths based on your choices that you make and the dialogue that you say to another person during the social link. I often see people say, despite the numerous options that Persona offers for dialogue, very few of them actually influence anything in the course of the game. So the idea of roots in social links is something that would cause your choices to matter more. Having your words influence a character's thoughts or actions would be a pretty solid way to make your choices matter. But is that really a good idea?
You know, I've always wanted to change.
Making your choices matter is a really good way to up your replayability. A character could wind up taking the wrong path if they rely too much on your advice. Having multiple endings based on your choices would mean that players would replay the game to see every single ending. Additionally, it would allow some social links to have different events as a whole. This could lead to some improvements in a lot of social links based on the route chosen. Upping replayability is a great way for people to get more invested in the game. A lot of people would go back to play it, and having more reasons to replay a game beyond simple things like choosing a romance option would be a good way to bring people back in.
To hell with that!
To be blunt, it creates a lot of issues with character development. By having your decisions fully influence what they do, you create an issue where every character becomes too reliant on the MC. The game will begin to revolve around your actions and words, which is problematic for character progression of side characters. I talked about this a bit in my formula video, which I guess you can watch up here if you want to see, but really, in Persona 5, character development and moments were already centered around the main character to begin with. By that I mean, he's always present whenever characters, especially in your party, are getting some sort of character development or relationship building. I would like more one-on-one development for characters in the main cast, while the main character is not necessarily present. Anyways, my point is that if your words make every character act differently, they become kind of less interesting. If they're so heavily influenced by your words, they stop being their own character and start to just be extensions of you. They don't make their own decisions or build their own relationships with you or characters in the link. They're really just puppets for you to control. Here's an example with minor spoilers, I guess. Just imagine if you told Makoto that she was wrong in interfering with Eiko. That whole link shifts drastically due to that decision, completely removing Eiko from the link. You can have your thoughts about the social link, as I have mine, but instead of Makoto deciding for herself what she should do, she just decides that, yeah, you're right, I'm just gonna do what you tell me. And that just doesn't sit right with me, as developing characters is a huge part of Persona. Additionally, having different routes is another way to encourage replayability. I said this before, but I'm gonna be honest here. As someone who's cleared Persona 5 Royal probably about 7 times, there's no reason to have more replayability for this game. Okay, maybe no reason is a little bit of a jump. I'm just saying that I'm not really interested in adding more things to give me a reason to replay this game. Persona is a long game, like 80 to 100 hours long for first playthrough. Replayability should not even be a thought in their head, in my opinion. The best reason to replay a game is because you enjoyed it, not because there are 300 other possibilities within a 100-hour campaign. And it would be different if the games were like 6 to 8 hours, but when you have an 100-hour game, no, I don't need a reason to replay. In short, I think the bad outweighs the good when it comes to creating roots in social links. The ugliest part about this is development time. It's become kind of apparent that a lot of people aren't used to the amount of time it takes Atlus to develop Persona games, and really just games in general. With Persona 6 being so far down the road that we haven't even heard anything about it, I think that innovation on certain formulas should take a backseat for the time being. Adding new routes to social links would cause a lot more work for Atlus's creative teams. There's more to write, more to consider, more to understand, and more to code. and that takes time, money, and effort. Atlus has a pretty solid reputation of putting out decent social links that feel insightful and organic. The idea that your choices should matter isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you really want your choices to matter, I think that should be put more into the overall story. You could argue that changing the overall story with your choices would also somehow affect social links, and I kind of agree with that, but I think that's a discussion to be had later. The ugliest thing about social link routes from a gameplay perspective is that they would, as I said before, cause character development to fully revolve around the main character. While this is kind of true in a sense with Persona 4 and 5, the main character serves as someone who is there for pivotal moments, but not the person who influences their decisions. You're able to give advice about situations and how you think they should be approached, but that doesn't mean a character is going to take you up on that offer. Given Persona is kind of about finding yourself in some ways, and the whole coming of age story thing, I think it'd be wrong to have characters only pursue their goals based on one person's words. In the end, it should be up to them. They have to be themselves. Like I said, you can encourage, but characters should have their own thoughts and still have their own thoughts and feelings on what they should do.
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it.
No. I really don't think that routes should be implemented into social links at the current moment. I think having choices matter minimalistically should remain in social links, of course. Implementing routes, especially in the way that I believe they would be implemented, would really only make the game more tedious and add a factor of replayability that I don't really think the games need. But of course, that is just my opinion. You can leave yours down in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel for more things Persona, Atlus, and JRPG related. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.